Hello, my name's Gordon from Festool UK. I'm joined today by my good friend and colleague Eddie Russell, who is the Territory Sales Manager for Scotland. And today we're presenting from our very good friends at Kelvin Power Tools here in Glasgow. Really excellent Festool dealer, great stockist, online or in store. Fantastic outfit, and we've worked with them for a very long time. And we're here today to talk about a couple of new product launches we've got this spring. This is April and May 2021. And the first thing I want to talk about is the thing I'm the most excited about, and having been with Festool over 20 years, I see a lot of great stuff in that period. This thing is phenomenal. This is called the SIS Power Station. You may have seen some trailers about it online, on the internet, on social media and things. Yeah, we like to tease you. It's been in development a long time, and I finally got my hands on this only 2 days ago. And we're really excited to show it you, because typical Festool, it does things nothing else can. It's an amazing product. So what is it? It's a mobile socket. It weighs in at just 16 kilos. So you can pop that on top of your dust extractor, and it turns your dust extractor cordless. So now you can move that in any direction. You plug your extractor into the power station, and now you have, switch it on here, and you now have a cordless dust extractor. Use it anywhere, take it anywhere on site. No need, your independence. So a few statistics about it. What does it do? It delivers 3,680 watts at 240 volts. And it's got 1,500 watt hours of storage. Well, what does that mean? Effectively, it can run any power tool in the Festool range in conjunction with a dust extractor. It runs everybody else's tools. And if you do a quick sweep of the shop here, Gillian, you'll see there's nothing here in this enormous power tool shop and all the brands that this machine will not run. There is one great exception I have to point out, and that is our Festool Tks80, which is our saw stop saw, the machine that doesn't cut your fingers off. And the reason we can't run that through this machine is because that has to be earthed in order for the saw stop mechanism to work. So there's only one exception in the entire Festool range, and that's the Tks80. Now, so we said 3,680 watts. It's got 11,800 watts peak draw. So when you start up a machine like this, or like a Capex or a chop saw or whatever you're using, a grinder, the machine takes a surge of two to 2.5 times the wattage. So you're talking, for example, this probably has a peak surge of 3,000 watts. So we need that extra energy. What can we compare this to? Because it is unique. To give you an example, 3.6 kVA, and the equivalent generator that delivers, a petrol generator that delivers 3,600, is roughly a 5 kilowatt generator. These things weigh in at 50 to 60 kilos, guys. This is 16 kilos. It's absolutely a box of magic. It's lightweight, relatively speaking. You clip it to your extractor, wheel it to site. But what else does it mean? Well, it means you start work instantly. When you get to a big site, you've got to get power. You might go to find a distribution board, you're running long cables and extensions to your transformers, or all sorts of hazards that way. If you can't get any power on site, you have to bring a generator. It's a two-man lift out the van. You've got to get it to site, you've got to start it. It's got fuel, it's got noise, it's got smoke. It's not particularly carbon efficient. So basically, and it's 2 or 3 times the weight of this magic box of tricks here, SIS Power Station. So there's a million benefits to getting yourself sorted with one of these for site, and you can start instantly. When you're on site, it runs everything. Already this week we've been testing it in the UK. We've run cement mixers, we've run big hammers, we've run all sorts of tools. There's nothing on site that this machine will not drive.
So Gordon, you're saying site one, can I run 110 volt tools from it?
You can indeed. The machine will work comfortably with a transformer. This week we've been testing it with a 3 kVA. It will take any of the tools in combination. The biggest tool we used was the Capex KS120, the crosscut saw, 1600 watts with a dust extractor. We were using a 5 kVA as well, but the 3 kVA ran anything that we do comfortably. What you might find is it sort of gives a red light warning signal, in which case unplug one of the devices, and we plugged the Capex saw and the extractor separately into the transformer, and then use the power station to run from there. and absolutely all day it could work all day. We used our 2200 watt router in conjunction with the extractor straight through a transformer, absolutely no problem at all. So yes, it will work comfortably with 110 volt tools on anything that we make. But again, I go back to it, guys, it's not just for Festool, it's not just for Festool, it runs anybody else's power tools. So 110 volt, no problem. It's fantastic. So what we're going to do next, we're going to set up a couple of little tests, so give us a moment and we'll be back and we'll show you it in action with some of the tools. Okay, so here we are with our old friend and favourite, the Festool KS120 sliding compound miter saw, a really big seller for us and a popular tool for site in 110 or 240. This version today is in 240 volt, and in this case we're taking the power for this from the power takeoff on the extractor. So what we'll do when we start this automatically, it'll start the extractor, and the extractor is plugged into the power station, so completely mobile, no cables anywhere else around. So we'll do a quick cut and we'll see how it performs. And as you can see, no problem handling a 240 volt CapEx and dust extractor through the SIS power station. If this was in 110, what I would suggest using a 3 kVA transformer is you plug the two machines in separately into your transformer and plug the transformer directly into the extractor. When you do that, it does mean you have to power the extractor using the manual switch. However, another good tip is to use your Bluetooth remote, so you can still start the extractor remotely. Just use the button on the hose that you can do with your Bluetooth remote.
We're going to show you the TS55F, which we'll launch in April. What the setup we've got here today is the dust extractor is plugged into the new SIS power station, which will be available around May time, and then we have the TS55F plugged into the dust extractor as you would normally do. Now if you order on kelvinpowertools.com the power station, you will get a free DAB radio with it, with any pre-orders that you do. So let's just go and show you how the cut of the new saw is.
So, just a few examples of other items that will be really popular on site. This sight light is our SIS Light Duo, a fantastic product, been out a few years now. It's aimed at the decorator market, first fix plasterers and dry liners and these kind of people. Gives you 8,000 lumens or 5,000 Kelvin, that's daylight. That's daylight, so you can work long into the evening or early in the morning and have full daylight using this device. What's amazing is the SIS power station will run this for 16 hours. 16 hours of that light will run. While we're talking about the plasterers and the dry liners, the Festool Tks80. This is a really popular tool, doing those taping and jointing jobs. It'll run this and the dust extractor with auto clean, the CTM36. It'll run these two together for over 200 linear meters of joints. So that's more than the day's work, guys, for a dry liner. So fantastic device, fantastic setup, all through the SIS power station, either in 110 or 240. Site power, no cables, no problem. On behalf of my colleague and myself, thank you for joining us today. A few finishing lines, if you like, about the SIS power station. Don't forget warranty all inclusive from Festool. Theft protection for 3 years. 3 years free servicing. Let's talk about the battery life and the charging time. 3 to 4 hours charge time from 0 to 100%, guys. But we anticipate you will probably only use 50% of the output from this in a day. So at a full charge, if you're doing a full charge every day, 0 to 100%, this will last for around 700 charges of the life of it, okay? So 700 charges at 0 to 100%. We anticipate that's going to be half that, in which case you're going to use it 50% of the time, so therefore 1,400 charges, well past the warranty period. But everything is warranted in this machine. It's just one of our Festool power tools in the range, and everything's covered. So just to recap, 3,680 watts, uses any of the Festool range except the TKS80 with source stop. 11,800 peak watts, so again, big enough for most applications. And guys, it takes anybody's power tools. You've got a cement mixer once firing up, it does it. You've got a welder on site, it can do it. You want a compressor on site, this can power it. It's not just woodworking tools, it's not just Festool tools. This is for you, the craftsman, to use anywhere. So keep an eye out. Great deal here at Kelvin Power Tools at the moment. You pre-order this online at kelvinpowertools.com, and you will get a free DAB radio worth, I think, around the £150, £160 mark. So it's a really great deal from Kelvin. Thank you for joining us, and stick with Festool.